Hi everyone, and welcome back to my pregnancy series. I am finally here with this last video talking about my third trimester. Now I am here a little bit late, so baby Finn has been born and he is in the background, so if you hear some noises, that is all that's going on. And also that is going to explain my lack of makeup slash mom face slash bucket of coffee. If you're new here, my name is Kelly of Finding Balance with Kelly. I help women find balance in their day-to-day lives. I am a new mama, so a lot of my content these days is going to be focused largely around supporting new moms, especially in the postpartum period and adjusting to life with baby. So if you're new to the channel, be sure to check out some of my other videos, especially my pregnancy recaps, first trimester and second trimester, so that you get a bit of an idea of what I'm talking about and what I cover in these videos. But ultimately, I'm going to be talking about my symptoms, some of the things that I felt and some of the ways that I dealt with them, and also some of the things that came up in this third trimester. Okay, first of all, the third trimester is the most exciting trimester, but it's also the longest. It takes forever for you to get from 28 weeks to your due date, and for some people, like myself, you go far past your due date. In fact, I actually went to 41 weeks and 5 days. That was the day that my baby was born, so I went almost 2 weeks late. A lot of people will say, how did you or how are you allowed to go that late? But there's a lot of different beliefs around how long a woman can go without having some of those issues like stillbirth. My midwives were very comfortable letting me go until 42 weeks, so that is what I allowed them to do. Now I'll talk a lot more about my birth story in the next video that I plan to film. This one is largely going to be surrounding that third trimester. Some of the different things that I started to feel in my third trimester included continued weight gains. I had talked about my weight gain in my second trimester video, really just hitting home that it's not that important for you to look at the number on the scale. Ultimately, your body is doing what it needs to do to build you, the baby, and get you ready for life postpartum, largely breastfeeding. But with all that added weight, I ended up feeling a lot more pain in my hips and my joints. I was really tired going upstairs, walking, doing anything physical. I actually had to pull myself back out of the gym by around 28 weeks because my hips were feeling so awkward and weak and I was so heavy, I couldn't physically sustain going to the gym anymore. So my hip pain, my pelvic pain, I had leg cramps, but what I was doing to help manage this, same thing as the second trimester, I didn't skimp on chiropractic support, I went to my osteopath, I went for regular massages. And that is my cue to get baby. So I'm going to do the rest of this video with the little baby in my arms, so I apologize for some of the grunting and the noises that you're going to hear, but I'm just going to continue because I don't think I'll ever get this done if I give it a pause now. So in the end, I was actually up about 45 pounds. So by my due date, I was up 45 pounds. Remember, they say the baby can be up to 10, sometimes more pounds. There's your placenta weight, the extra fluids in your body, and the amniotic fluids as well. So there's a lot of extra weight that comes from just baby that isn't actually you. I'll talk a little bit more about post-pregnancy afterwards, but really that number 45 is a little higher than the average, though it's not that concerning, and I'll share about why later. So what did I experience that was new in my third trimester? I had a ton of heartburn, especially when I ate things that were spicy, things with tomatoes. If I ate too late before bed, I had tons and tons of heartburn. So I was really excited for pregnancy to be over so that I could actually get back to enjoying the foods that I wanted to eat. And I also have a tendency to go to bed really early, so it made it challenging when dinner was around 7 and I went to bed at 9. I was propping myself up with pillows just to deal with that. I didn't actually go to the doctor to get any prescriptions for anything, but that was because I largely wanted to do this unmedicated, and it wasn't that bad. I just needed to avoid certain foods and eating a little earlier, and then I was able to deal with the heartburn okay. So towards the end of my third trimester, I ended up starting to feel that exhaustion coming back, and it reminded me a lot of my first trimester, but I was lucky that I didn't really experience it until about 38, 39 weeks. It wasn't until quite late in pregnancy that I really began to feel it again, and I was lucky because I was off work starting at 38 weeks, so I wasn't really experiencing too much of that at work, which was nice. We all know how hard it is to focus when you're expected to be working an 8+ hour day, and at the same time, you just want to sleep. What else was new? Stretch marks. I got them actually on the backs of my thighs and on my bum, which was really interesting because I did not expect to get them there. My stomach is actually what grew a lot more than those areas, but I guess, I don't know, whatever it was, the pressure, the weight, I got a bunch on my backside. Now I'm sure they're going to fade in time, and really it's not that much of a concern. Just wanted to mention that is something that appeared in my third trimester, and it's going to be with me for the rest of my life. And last but not least, I began to experience some of that dreaded pregnancy insomnia that they talk about. By the end of my third trimester, I was having probably 1 or 2, maybe 3 nights a week where I was waking up and I was just awake for 2 to 3 hours in the middle of the night. I couldn't sleep. My brain wouldn't shut off. No matter what I did, whether I did breathing exercises, counting backwards, whatever I could to calm myself down, it just didn't work. And a lot of people say that's just in preparation for you actually having the baby. And I have to say, you know what, it was pretty good preparation because I now am up with Finn at least a few times a night for about an hour each time, just feeding and changing him. And I did want to mention, I still was getting those wonderful hot flashes that I had been getting throughout this whole second trimester. So it was really funny to be in my third trimester, January, February timeframe, wearing tank tops and t-shirts wherever I went. I had to be really careful with the material I was wearing, nothing synthetic, because if I was going to sweat, it needed to be breathable. Everything was cotton. Now, what did we do to prepare for baby in a third trimester? Well, we finished the nursery. I do want to do a quick video on the nursery just because there are some unique things that we did there with organization that I think would be interesting ideas. So I'll do that separately soon. But other things we did to prepare is we ended up working with a doula. We hired a doula to come in and do some education with us. She did some childbirth education courses. This gave Mike a really good idea of what was going to happen in childbirth and in labor, and helped us prepare for the first few days, weeks with baby. And because I also had hired a doula specifically for my pregnancy, we went through a lot of pain management techniques because I was hoping to go through this labor and delivery unmedicated and as naturally as possible. If you are somebody who doesn't have any access to doulas in your area, or you like to be a little bit more independent and learn on your own, I want to call attention to the Birth Lounge. So this is an online portal / lounge that my friend Hee by Tranquility by Hee, she created it, and she is a doula in the Boston area, but everything is online. So it's a fantastic resource to educate yourself and empower yourself through your pregnancy, through childbirth, and even into the postpartum. She has a lot of really great resources and videos on there. I think it's a fantastic place for new moms to go, or a fantastic place for first-time pregnant women to go to learn a little bit more about what to expect. I think it's a fantastic resource to empower yourself to have the birth that you want, especially if you don't have a doula yourself or you don't want to hire somebody for your birth. Now, if you do check it out, I'm going to put the coupon code below, and if you use my coupon code, you'll get $5 off each month in case you're interested. I've also had a lot of questions about resources. So what did I use to educate myself throughout pregnancy? Because I had talked earlier about how many books I'd read. So I'm a big nerd when it comes to information, and I love information overload. So I read a lot of books, listened to a lot of different podcasts, and I'm going to do another video just to share those resources with you, because that could take me another at least 10-20 minutes to go through all of them and why I love them so much. So I won't share too much because I want to keep it for my birth story video, but we had Finn on March 31st, and I'm filming this in later April, so he's about 3.5 weeks old now. I'm really excited to share you guys my birth story so you can maybe get some ideas for yourself. I feel like a lot of women go into it not really knowing what to expect, just sort of trusting that the medical professionals are going to just recommend the right things. This is not to say that they don't. Medical professionals do have the education behind it, but sometimes choices are made in terms of convenience and ease as opposed to what is really medically necessary. So it's important for you to educate yourself, and I hope to share my birth story so you can see one of the ways that birth can go. That's it for my third trimester recap. I really don't have too much else to say. I was very lucky that it was a good trimester. I felt great. I didn't have any of that really uncomfortable stuff until towards the end, and I think I felt probably better in my third trimester than I did in my first. All those who are going through their pregnancy right now know that it doesn't always get a lot worse. Thanks again for reading, for listening. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment. I'll come back to you. You can check me out on Instagram at Finding Balance with Kelly, or online on my blog at findingbalancewithkelly.com. I have all of this written out in a blog post if you'd rather not watch a video and you would rather check it out there. I would show you baby Finn, but he's feeding right now, so maybe next time.